Hi guys, let's see how to draw a sine wave from a simple vector. Let OA be a vector that rotates freely in the anti-clockwise direction at a velocity called angular velocity or omega radians per second. At time t, OA has reached OB and BC is perpendicular to OA. If we project such vertical components like BC onto an xy plane with x-axis as omega t, y be y, we will get a sine wave. Let's see how. We are projecting BC. Similarly, we can project other perpendiculars. If we join such points, we will get a sine wave with the maximum value as OA or the radius, and here OA begins at 0 degree, maximum value Vm. The equation is y equal to Vm sine omega t. Suppose OA is starting at 0 degrees and we have another vector y1 which is starting theta degrees above y, and both of them are rotating at the same angular frequency omega. We can tell that y1 starts theta degrees earlier in time than y. So if we draw it in the xy plane, we have the wave, and theta is called the phase difference, which is the phase angle between y and y1, where y starts at 0 degrees and y1 starts at theta degrees. Similarly, if we have y at 0 degrees and if we have another vector y2 which is also rotating at omega radians per second, but it is starting 5 degrees after y, then we can draw it as shown. Here phi is the phase difference between y and y2, and the equation comes Vm sine omega t minus phi. So we can see that we can represent all these sine waves using just a vector and phase angle. A vector y, y1, y2 along with their phase angle, we can represent the sine wave. In DC network analysis, we treated electricity as a scalar quantity, but for AC network analysis, it is a vector quantity. That is, it has both real and imaginary parts. All the terms like voltage, current, resistance, power, etc. become complex. We used to describe alternating voltage as Vm cos omega t, but when it becomes complex, it becomes Vm cos omega t plus J sin omega t. This form of representation is called trigonometric representation. So we have the real and the imaginary parts. We know that cos omega t plus J sin omega t can be written as e power j omega t. Now our voltage equation becomes Vm e power j omega t. This is called the exponential form of representation. This was a simple voltage term. Now consider a voltage or current with a phase angle phi. This is with a phase difference of phi. We can write it in complex term as Vm cos omega t plus phi plus j sin omega t plus phi. In exponential form, now we can write it in the exponential form. It becomes Vm e power j omega t plus phi. Another way of representation is using only the magnitude and phase angle. That is, we can omit e power j omega t. We have voltage as Vm angle phi. This form of notation is called the phasor notation. We can omit the omega t term if all the voltages or currents are operating at the same frequency. Omega is actually frequency, which is usually the case. It is normally 50 or 60 hertz worldwide. So if there is current, we can reduce the current's complex form into the phasor notation as Im angle theta. This way of representation, the phasor way of representation, is the easiest to solve problems. We saw how to represent complex voltage and current in phasor notation. Now let's see impedance or resistance in AC network. Just like resistance in DC network, it is the ratio of voltage, phasor voltage to phasor current. Since both V and I are complex, impedance denoted by Z is also complex. It has the real and imaginary part. The real part is resistance. The imaginary part is reactance, denoted by X. And the positive reactance is XL or J omega L, while the negative axis is minus XC or J by omega C, which is given by the capacitive reactance. And total Z we can find by R square by plus X square, where X is the net reactance. We will get by XL minus XC or XC minus XL. We can find theta by tan inverse X by R. Reciprocal of impedance is admittance. Let's see how phasor representation will help us solve problems. Let's start with an RL circuit, resistance and an inductor applied in AC circuit. And let VR be the voltage across the resistance and VL be the voltage across the inductor. We know that current lags against the voltage for inductor, and current is in phase with the voltage for resistance. This is the current wave, and voltage will be 90 degrees above current for an inductor, while the voltage will be in phase for the resistance. And we have the resultant voltage V, which is required, and let phi be the phase angle. Using some manipulation we will find VL. Now if we form a triangle, this triangle is called the voltage triangle, which will give VR voltage and VL. Now we can find the applied voltage V by finding the resultant of VR and VL. This is called the voltage triangle. Similarly, we can form the impedance triangle by forming the impedances alone, resistance XL and Z. This is the impedance triangle, resistance, and our 90-degree out of phase is the reactance, inductive reactance XL, and the resultant is the impedance Z. We can find by root of R square plus XL. We can also find the phase angle by finding tan. XL by R. We can find the phase angle by finding the tan inverse. Now let's check an RC circuit similar to RL. RC applied to an alternating voltage. We have VR as the voltage across the resistance and VC as the voltage across the capacitance. We know that the voltage across the resistance is in phase with the current applied, while current leads the voltage across the capacitance. So current we have, and VC, negative VC, because current is 90-degree leading VC, and we have VR which is in phase with current, and by some manipulation we can form the voltage triangle. We can find the resultant voltage V or the applied voltage V by finding the resultant. V will be root of VR square plus minus VC the whole square. Similarly, like the RL circuit, we can form the impedance triangle. Resistance which is in phase with the current, while XC which is the capacitive reactance which is 90-degree out of phase with the current, and the resultant impedance is Z. We can form the impedance triangle now. We can find the total impedance and the phase angle. The total impedance Z is the resultant R square plus minus XC the whole square. And the phase angle is tan phi, which is minus XC by R or minus VC by VR. So we found the voltage triangle and impedance triangle, which comes with simple algebraic manipulation. Now let's see the power triangle for an RL circuit. Let's take the current I and the resultant voltage V or the applied voltage V. Let's split the current I along the applied voltage, which will come to I cos phi, and the other I sine phi. Now let's make a triangle out of it. Let the base be I cos phi, Vi cos phi. Then we have the phase angle phi along I. And let's multiply it with V. We have Vi sine phi with the phase angle phi. Now this Vi is called the apparent power S, and it is given in volt ampere because it's just voltage and current. Vi cos phi is the wattful component or active power, while Vi sin phi is the reactive power or Q. We can find the total resultant power S by root of P square plus Q square. S is voltage into current. P is the wattful component, which we can find by I square R or Vi cos phi, is given in watts. Q is the reactive power, which is given by I square XL or Vi sin phi, is given in voltage ampere reactance. These are the useful manipulations in solving AC networks.